Happy Sunday night. It's good to be back with you guys. Another MLS transfer video. A lot of news, a lot of stuff happening. It feels like every single second. It feels like there's a rumor of some player going to some team in Major League Soccer. Actually feels like a lot of the guys who have been rumored to be on the move has been linked with Inter Miami, directly or indirectly, which is kind of crazy. And there's a couple things we need to talk about tonight. A couple rumors that are circulating, couple questions we have, a couple re-signings, right? Couple players that are sticking with their team. But I hope you guys are having a great Sunday night. Also, make sure if you guys haven't already, you like the stream down below. It helps us out. Remember, the show is free. All I ask for is you guys to like the stream down below, share with a friend, and also make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. 450 subscribers away from 12,000, and we have 10 days to hit our goal. So we are 450 subscribers away, 10 days hit our goal. So make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't already and hit that little bell notification so you never miss any of our videos. Now, this is something interesting too, because we talked about this a couple of days ago. We talked about Dane St. Clair signing with Inter Miami, right? We talked about him leaving Minnesota United, leaving a lot of money on the table, maybe like a couple $100,000 per year to go sign with Inter Miami. And Michelle Kaufman had reported that he was going to sign with Inter Miami. He's going to sign till 2028 or 2029. And real quick, too, Mr. Good friend of the channel, he says, "Hi, Will. Hi, chat. Before I say anything else, I'll say Merry Christmas to you and the family, mate. Merry Christmas to all of you in the chat." Yes, hope all of you guys have a Merry Christmas and enjoy your time with your family. So, yes, I appreciate that, Mr. First year is an extended family, right? First year with the little one. So we're very excited about that. But Dane St. Clair, rumored to be signing with Inter Miami, or that's what Michelle Kaufman said. It was all but done till 2029. But there's been this goalkeeper that Inter Miami has constantly, constantly been rumored with, and it's Guido Herrera. And there's this report by Hugo Garcia. It just won't go away. He said Herrera from Talleres to Inter Miami. It's an ongoing negotiation with differences between the parties. Neither collapsed nor done, but with matters still being defined, to be defined, in which even the MLS must participate. By the way, this is translated, so sorry if it's a little choppy. We have to wait a bit longer for the end of the talks. So this won't go away. They keep talking about Guido Herrera going to Inter Miami. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, just because we talked about Dane St. Clair. There was a rumor that Talleres wanted $2 million for Guido Herrera to go to Inter Miami, that the terms of the deal had been agreed to. All they were waiting for was Talleres and Inter Miami to come to an agreement on a transfer fee. Then after that happened, those rumors were circulating for, I don't know, a couple days, right? It feels like it was a couple days that people were talking about this. And then out of nowhere, they signed Dane St. Clair. It kind of dropped on everybody unexpectedly. So they signed Dane Clair. At least it hadn't been announced yet, so that's a little bit concerning. And maybe this is why. And then this keeps popping up. This doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because Dane St. Clair was offered $1.3 million. I think there was a report. The journalist is slipping my mind on who it was in Minnesota. But there's a Minnesota journalist, and if I remember his name, I'll make sure to give him a shout. But this journalist in Minnesota said that they offered him 1.3 mil. He turned it down. He turned down more money to go to Inter Miami to play there. I just don't. Why would Dane St. Clair turn down more money to be a backup in Inter Miami? It's not going to happen, right? He came to Inter Miami because he wanted to start. Now, Herrera, he is the captain of Talleres. He has played, I want to say, he has over 200 caps for Talleres, and he's a very important piece to their team. And I don't think they really want to let him go. Why would he move to Inter Miami to be the backup, right? There's just some inconsistencies here where it doesn't make sense. Neither one of these goalkeepers are backups. They're just not. They're both have the intention of starting, right? So this doesn't really add up. And I really don't know what to believe because Dane St. Clair has not officially signed, and this rumor won't go away. I don't know. I mean, obviously, we know there's the Argentine connection. It would make sense why they would sign Guido Herrera, but also would make a lot of sense of why they would sign Dane St. Clair. Mr. says it only makes sense if Herrera is willing to be the backup and Ustari goes. Well, I think Ustari is going to leave regardless because his wage bill is too high. I think he's making like 750,000 a year. I think they're going to buy him out. So, and I appreciate that, William. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you and your family as well. I think that they, I just don't think that they would. I don't think Herrera would want to come to MLS to be the backup. And also, too, you got to think about this. They were asking $2 million for him in his transfer fee, talking about Guido Herrera. So I don't think that it makes financial sense in Major League Soccer to sign a goalkeeper for $2 million who's not going to start. I think they're waiting to see. Like, I think this is kind of like a competition to see who's going to be the guy. They're not going to sign both. So I really don't know what's going to happen. I don't think both of these guys are going to be on the team. I think they're just waiting to see who they can get. But I'm going to do a poll. I want to ask you guys this. Who would you rather have? Who would you rather have on Inter Miami? Would you rather have Dane St. Clair as your goalkeeper in 2026? Or would you rather have Guido Herrera? Which goalkeeper would you rather have on Inter Miami between the two? Now, Guido Herrera is 33 years old. He'll be 34 in February. So he's not young, but he's not old either. He's a vet, obviously, but it just doesn't make any sense. I think this is BS. I don't think this is true. I think they maybe kick the tires on him, but I just don't think that and a lot of you guys agree. You say St. Clair. Yeah, like St. Clair, Rocco. I mean, Rock'em Sock'em Block'em's out. He's out. And that's another thing, too. Merry Christmas to you, Cringe. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yes, and Merry Christmas to the entire chat. Why would they do, I think that Dane St. Clair is probably better than him at this point, or at least I think he is. I mean, Guido Herrera is a good goalkeeper, but I think he's probably better than him at this point. But also, you're getting him on a free transfer, and he's not going to take up an international roster spot. So collectively, everything about Dane St. Clair just makes more sense. It makes a lot more sense. And he says, let's see, Thua says, I'd like to have both, one for MLS and one for the CONCACAF Champions Cup and Leagues Cup. Yeah, it's really hard to do that financially in Major League Soccer because if Dane St. Clair is going to make $1 million, if Herrera is going to make $800K, you can't really have almost $2 million tied up into. You can't have $2 million tied up into goalkeepers in Major League Soccer. It's just too much. It's too much in resources tied up into a goalkeeper, right? It's just way, way, way too much. Way too much. And Cringe says, chat, show some love by hitting the like button. Yes, guys, we got 20 likes. Let's try to get to 100. We got like 207 likes last time we did a live stream talking about all the transfer rumors. So, guys, make sure you guys like this down below if you haven't already. We'll try to get to 100 likes. And share with a friend. Let's grow the audience as much as we can. Like I said, all this is free for your guys' entertainment, and hopefully you guys enjoy what you hear. Ridiculous Reefing says possibly Messi just wants him. He could just want him, but it still doesn't make a lot of sense. Miami King says St. Clair is better. No way to get Herrera. I would deem this as bogus. Like that would be my guess on this. I don't think it's going to happen. Doesn't make sense. Really doesn't make sense. And I would rather have Dane St. Clair anyway. I think that they probably got a little bit too confident when they were negotiating with Inter Miami, and Inter Miami called their bluff and they signed Dane St. Clair because it came up. And now Herrera is kind of left in a bad spot. Like he can stay at Talleres, but he really wanted to go to Inter Miami. And Inter Miami called Talleres they called their bluff. So they seem like they probably have moved on, and I just don't think this is going to happen. I could be wrong, but if I was betting on it, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think that it's going to happen. Okay, let's move on to the next thing because we got a lot of other stuff to cover here. So this was shared by my friend tonight, Enter Miami News Hub, and he got this from someone else. Breaking: River Plate have entered talks with Facundo Mura, who is also a target for Inter Miami. With his racing contract expired, Mura has requested 72 hours to decide between Inter Miami and River Plate. Now, this would be the second player that Inter Miami and River Plate are battling for. The first one being Tadio Allende. We talked about that a little bit last time, but this is interesting, right? Because from all the reports, it said that Facundo Mura was signing with Inter Miami. He had already signed with Inter Miami. There was no competition, or we haven't heard any competition that he wanted to play with Messi. But River Plate is one of the top two clubs in Argentina, and maybe he doesn't want to leave home, regardless if it's playing with Messi or not. It is a little interesting time, right? It feels like, that's why I'm saying, like, indirectly or directly, it feels like every player this transfer window has been linked with Inter Miami, and some of them have been hits and some of them have been wrong. But this is an interesting one because they do need another right back, I would say, because they lost Chelo Wingett. And this guy would have came in there and probably competed with Ian Frey for the starting spot, because I think Ian Frey might end up playing some center back this year in 2026. And just to have some insurance if he gets hurt. You want to have someone who can fill in and not see a drastic drop off in quality. This is a little interesting. I don't really understand maybe what fell through or what kind of offer River Plate had offered Facundo Mura, but it's interesting. I would probably still say Inter Miami probably edges them out. Now, he says he's going to take 72 hours to decide. I think he probably will still end up playing with Miami because he'll have a good chance to start. Like I said, Ian Frey's good, but I mean, he's not like a sure thing locked up. No one can take his spot away from him. I mean, Chelo Wingett started several games in 2025. So it's not like Ian Frey started 34 matches regular season. It was just the, surefire, unquestioned starting right back. Nobody could take his spot, right? That's just not how it was. So Facundo Mura, free transfer. This is what Miami loves. They love these free transfers because if they don't pay a fee, it makes it more likely that they're not a DP. Didn't mean for that to rhyme, by the way. That's just the way it is. No fee, no DP. That's why I like these players on loans. So that way that they can get around the salary being included or the transfer fee being included into their wage bill, and that makes it less likely that they're going to be a designated player. So this is right up their alley, and I think that they'll probably, I would say they probably get this thing done. I mean, anything can happen, obviously. Anything can happen, but I feel pretty good about this. Mr. Mister says, why have I got a feeling that Miami will ask Boca about Leandro Paredes? Possibly. I mean, he's part of the gang with Messi and with Messi and Rodrigo de Paul, so maybe he will be. Maybe he'll be part of the equation. Miami King says Herrera speaks Spanish. Not sure about St. No, I don't think St. Clair does. So that is a good point about the Dane St. Clair rumors as well. He doesn't speak Spanish. But if that young player is Master Tuono, he making around 3.5 to 4 million. If any player is 22 or under, they can pay whatever. If the free up the U22, cough Avalos. Yeah, the only thing is, I think Facundo. Yeah, that's true. And I would be curious to see if they open up another. They open up a U22 spot and use it on someone else, right? Because Toto Avalos doesn't even start. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll keep an eye on see what happens with Facundo Mura. Listen, we'll probably do a couple of these streams a week, like I said, just because of all this news that's constantly happening. And we almost got 100. We got 100 people watching this live right now. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Also, guys, if you haven't already, we have so many people who watch the channel who don't subscribe. Repeat viewers, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Like I said, 450 subscribers away from 12,000. We're trying to hit 12K by the end of this year, by New Year's Day. We got 10 days left. Super close to hitting our goal. I mean, we've grown like crazy. We have the biggest audience of any MLS dedicated channel that there is because of you guys and all your support. So make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't already. It helps us out. And that way you don't miss any of the new content. And there's more on the way. So I appreciate all the support. Now let's talk about this other big rumor. Now, this is a guy who had been rumored with another MLS team for a while, and it looks like he might be moving to a team that no one really saw what happened. So let's read this report. So I think it's Ekram Kanor says that Red Alert knew Atletico Madrid, Antoine Griezmann has three concrete offers: Charlotte FC, Al Ali, and Al Awada? It's Al Wada, I think is how you say it. Inter Miami, Juve, Galatasaray, and Lyon also interested. Well, Inter Miami probably not going to sign him because he would require a DP spot, and I don't think that they really want to use it on Antoine Griezmann. I could be wrong about that. I could be wrong about that, but I don't. I would think that it's not very likely that he'll end up signing with Inter Miami, right? I just don't see that one happening. But Charlotte FC is interesting. That's a very interesting one. Now, a lot of people might think, well, Charlotte FC is a very small market. Can they afford to sign Antoine Griezmann? And to that, I would say, the owner of Charlotte FC's name is David Tepper. He is a very wealthy owner. He's one of the wealthiest owners in American sports. He's got the money to sign Antoine Griezmann if he chooses to. Now, the only hiccup in this is that Antoine Griezmann's deal with Atletico Madrid does not end until 2027, so it would require a transfer fee if they were to purchase him. I don't know how much it would cost. Now, transfer market, now that's not the end all be all, right? We all know that it's not perfect, but they give you a general sense of maybe what a guy's worth or what a team might have to pay to get them. They're saying that Antoine Griezmann at this point is worth 11 million euros. I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if I disagree with that. I mean, Son Heung-min cost LAFC 27 million euros, I think, when they bought him this summer. I didn't think he was going to cost that much because he was kind of on his way out with Tottenham, and they didn't really have him in their plans going forward. So I could be wrong about that, but he's going to cost a pretty penny. He's not going to be cheap, Antoine Griezmann. Okay. Now, Antoine Griezmann was a guy that had been linked with LAFC all summer in 2024. A lot of people thought if he came to Major League Soccer, he was bound for LAFC. But it never materialized, right? It never happened. He ended up signing with, or he didn't sign with anybody. They ended up signing Son Heung-min instead of him, excuse me. So they moved on. I guess he was teasing them and never serious or would be willing to commit full on to sign with LAFC. So here he is linked with a couple other MLS teams. Inter Miami, don't really see it. You know, like I said, directly or indirectly, always going to be linked with all these players, right? Now, Charlotte FC, very interesting. Now, I think there could be another team that we don't know about who could be in the fold for Antoine Griezmann. Now, here's the question I have for you guys. Do you think Antoine Griezmann will actually come to Major League Soccer? There's always these big names that are rumored with MLS. They're always rumored with MLS. But do they actually ever come? That's the question. Do you want him to come? Do you think he's going to come to Major League Soccer? Do you think that Antoine Griezmann, and it doesn't even have to be Charlotte FC, do you think he will come to Major League Soccer? And Ridiculous Reefing says, as a Charlotte FC fan, I'm glad we are chasing these big names. You got the owner to do it. And Tony Miami says, sub up. Yes, I agree. Sub up if you guys haven't already. Cringe says, let me pull this on the screen. Sorry, I was looking on the YouTube app because I could do the polls. Tepper will write the check. I don't think Griezmann would like the Saudi Pro League. I don't think he really is a Saudi Pro League guy. I think he would. He loves America because he loves other sports. He loves the American culture. I think Antoine Griezmann, if he ever leaves Europe, has got MLS and the US written all over him. Like, he loves the United States. He's always over here watching games and stuff and hanging out and doing things. So we'll see if that happens. I'm curious, like I said, if you guys think I think he'll come to MLS just because of what I said about him liking the American culture, loving other sports, always here in the off season. Hell, he's here during the season sometimes if they have like a little bit of a break. He loves America. Miami King says, I think Griezmann is good for LAFC. I just don't think he's going to come to LAFC because they don't have any. I mean, they do have a DP spot open, but they signed a U22, which I don't know why. That would have been interesting to see him at LAFC with Son Heung-min and Denis Bouanga. That'd been crazy. Mr. says, I can't see Griezmann going to Miami. We saw at Barca that Griezmann and Messi just get in each other's way. There's just no chemistry there. And that's another thing, too. I remember his time at Barcelona horribly. Like, he was not very good at Barcelona, rightfully or wrongfully so. He just wasn't very good, right? And like you said, no chemistry, like they were stepping on each other's feet. And they might have liked each other off the field, but on the field, it just really never made any sense. And Mick says, as an Inter Miami fan, I hope he signs with another MLS team to grow the league. I agree too. Spread it out. Give people a reason to watch Charlotte FC. Give people a reason that's not a fan of the team, obviously. Chicago, Seattle, and everything in between, right? They are not stupid to come to MLS outside of Miami. Well, I think that there's other good opportunities outside of Miami, honestly. Cringe says he would be great at New York City FC. It's the big market with a strong NBA culture and growing soccer fan base. And I do expect New York City FC to make a pretty big splash whenever they do get that soccer-specific stadium officially built. Who knows when that's going? I think it's the summer of 2027. So right when the new season starts in the new league year, when we switch the calendar, we'll see if they make a splash in that summer and bring in some big names. We'll have to see what happens. Royce was also rumored to Charlotte FC, and he came to MLS. Yeah, and I was told at that point that Marco Royce, they had offered him a very, very lucrative deal, Charlotte FC. It was never about financial terms. He just had no interest in living in Charlotte and wanted in playing there. I have that from a very reliable person. He never had any interest in playing or living in Charlotte. He just never wanted to do that. I would love to watch him on another team. He's too old for Miami for a permanent deal. I think it just, like I said, spread the wealth, right? Spread the wealth. Marcos Arroyo to Miami. Arroyo to Miami. I don't know. I mean, he was rumored last year. He's 35. He'll be 36 in 2026. I just don't know if that's the right move. SPH is Barracas Donkey Management spend like almost 600 million on Dembele, Coutinho, Griezmann, and got zero juice out of them. Dembele also caused Barca to lose the Champions League semifinal, and then he goes and wins the Ballon d'Or at PSG and wins the Champions League final. Crazy, right? Crazy how that works. Ridiculous Reefing says also Charlotte were rumored with David Alaba. Yeah, no, they were. They've been rumored with a couple big names. They haven't been able to. Still haven't been able to land one of those guys just yet. Mister says New York City FC would be a good option for Griezmann in Seattle too. Seattle couldn't afford him or wouldn't want to spend what he would take, but New York City FC definitely could, and maybe they should. Levi to Chicago is a thing. Lewandowski, possibly. So we'll see what happens with Antoine Griezmann. We'll see what happens with them. We're gonna move on to another one, and I swear, a lot of these rumors are Inter Miami, centric. It just is what it is right now. It's just how it is. Guys, if you haven't already, make sure you like the stream too. I think we're at 40 likes. Let's try to get to 100 on the stream. Make sure you guys smash the like button if you haven't already. All right, next piece of news. Nicolas Fonseca, I think you say your name, or Fonseca, he will not be joining Inter Miami. So this was a guy that they were trying to get as a Sergio Busquets replacement. And if you remember, Jorge Mas, after the MLS Cup final, was interviewed, and he says we have a replacement in place for Jordi Alba, and we have a replacement in place for Sergio Busquets. Well, they announced the replacement for Jordi Alba, which was Sergio Reguilon, but they don't have a replacement yet for Sergio Busquets that's not on the team already. And when he did that interview, it made it I feel like he implied that they were going to sign someone to replace him, that they were going to sign someone to replace Sergio Busquets, and that he was not talking about Yannick Bright. So anyway, so this Nicolas Fonseca will not be joining Inter Miami after all. The Uruguayan defensive midfielder will move to Real Oviedo instead of joining Messi and co. I guess they couldn't get a transfer fee. in place. This guy's going to go on loan. And I just don't know if it feels like Miami probably have a couple contingencies or a couple backup options, but this could have been a guy that they were hinting at that was going to, come in here and replace Sergio Busquets, maybe compete with Yannick Bright for the starting spot. And it fell through. It fell through. And I don't remember if Real Oviedo are they in La Liga or are they in Segunda Division? I think they are. They might be in La Liga. Let's see. Okay, so they are in La Liga. So is that the team that Federico Redondo got transferred to? Let me see. It's not. Okay, so it's not the team. I can't remember what team that Federico Redondo. So either way, this guy chose to go on loan and play in La Liga. Yeah, so it is La Liga. So he chose to play in La Liga instead of coming to Major League Soccer, and you can't really blame him for that in a sense. I mean, he's going to be playing in a better league. He is going on loan though, so they're not buying him. So it is what it is. Now, I don't know how great he is or how good he was going to be. Obviously losing Sergio Busquets is a huge loss, and maybe not because of everything he can do physically, but his intelligence on the field and had some really good. He played pretty well down the stretch, and this guy is 27. He'll be 28 in 2026. So I would say it's a complete loss. And he plays currently. I have to say this too. He played at Lyon and Liga MX. He's got 7 caps for the Uruguayan national team, 4 in 2024 and 3 in 2025. So this guy is not just some bum. Like, he was pretty good. And I think he was good he played for River Plate before he went to Lyon. But SPH says, but doesn't Miami have Yannick Bright? They do have Yannick Bright, but if you listen to what Jorge Mas was saying, he was implying that they were going to get someone other than Yannick Bright, some depth, maybe a guy that could start. So we'll see what happens with that. Real quick, too, I wanted to show this real quick. I'm not going to show the whole thing because I don't want to get any copyright strike. I'll save this for last. I want to pull up one more thing, too. I don't want to show this because we got one more transfer thing or one more player thing related before we get to the final thing, which is more of like a fun thing. I thought it was interesting. Also, too, while I'm pulling this up, I wanted to shout out that Wilfred Nancy finally got his first win with Celtic today. So he'll live to fight another day, which you love to see. Maybe he'll figure things out and, maybe he'll go on a run here. We'll see. I mean, anything's possible. I'm hoping the best for him because he's a representative of Major League Soccer. So we'll see what he does. Okay. So here's the last thing, transfer-wise, unless I'm forgetting anything. And make sure, guys, like I said, it's like drinking through a fire hose. Okay, so Redondo with Elche. Okay. If I'm missing something, make sure to put it in the chat. So I heard a rumor before MLS Cup that Takaoka was going to leave and go back to Japan because he was homesick and that he wasn't going to be back. But Takaoka has re-signed with Vancouver through the 2027 season. And he's one of the biggest reasons why Vancouver were so good in 2025. He was the runner-up, I think, in goalkeeper of the year. And this is a great sign to keep someone like him in the league, because anytime you're in a league that is trying to ascend and get better and better, you don't want to lose talent. You want to collect talent. You want to keep talent, retain it. So keeping Takaoka is a big deal. And I think that this is great for Major League Soccer. I'm happy that he stayed. And I think he's only like 28 years old. Is he? I don't think he's 30 yet. Let me make sure. Some of these guys, you just kind of get them confused. I don't think because one time I got Kubas and Berhalter's age mixed up, and I said that Kubas was 24 and he's really 29. So Takaoka is only 29 years old, so he's still under 30. 100 caps for Vancouver. Very, very good player. Glad to see that he's staying in Major League Soccer. Glad to see that he's not moving, because we need to keep as many quality players in the league as we possibly can. Griezmann and Zaha would be crazy. It would be. We'll see if that happens, right? We'll see if that's even possible. Also, too, Kubas for Vancouver. I can't remember what the team was that offered for him, but they declined the offer. So Kubas is staying in Vancouver as of now. I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's going to stay for just a little bit longer. And this is crazy stuff, guys. And the window isn't even officially open yet. I mean, it's December the 21st. We still have a while to go we still got like 2 weeks left until the window officially opens. So much stuff is going on. So much stuff. Okay, last thing. I want to show this real quick. This isn't transfer news, but this is New England Revolution like showed some renderings of their stadium that's going to be in close to downtown Boston, I think. I'm not really too familiar with their landscape or their geography of Boston, but having this is insane. Like this is something they've been chasing for a long time as a soccer specific stadium in Boston. They've been having to drive to Foxborough, and that's about an hour away from Boston, Gillette Stadium. That's where the Patriots played too. And it looks like they're finally going to get their soccer specific stadium, which is a huge deal. And it's great for Major League Soccer. They're the only Major League Soccer team, original 96er team, to not have their own soccer specific stadium. They're the only team. No, yeah, because I guess the Fire don't count because they came in 98. Yeah, so they're the only 96er team who doesn't have their own soccer specific stadium. And having a team actually in Boston would be crazy. Like, and it's going to be, I guess, on the waterfront. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know the geography of Boston, but getting a stadium built in Boston city limits, a soccer specific stadium, seemed like a far-fetched dream at one point. So it looks like they're going to do it. It's a big deal for the club. It's a big deal for the fans. And I'm very excited to see what happens going forward. We got a lot of soccer specific stadiums being built in Major League Soccer, guys. We got New York City FC's stadiums opening up soon, and Miami stadiums opening up soon. New England's getting their stadium. This is a great thing, and shows the growth of the league and how far the league has come. I think that's all for tonight, guys. I think that's all. I think we're going to end it there. There might be another transfer video at some point this week, a live stream, maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Just really depends on what moves and like what rumors come up. But I will be dropping, in Chicago getting a stadium in 2027. I'll be dropping that video tomorrow about the teams that need to have a big offseason tomorrow. I apologize for the delays. Sorry, got a little tied up with other things. So be on the lookout for that. We'll be dropping our teams that need to have a big offseason in Major League Soccer. Hope you guys have a great night. Hope you guys have a Merry Christmas. Hope you guys enjoy your holidays. Make sure to like this stream down below if you guys haven't already. Let's get to 100 likes. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. 450 subscribers away from 12,000. Let's try to hit that number by the New Year's Day. I know we can because of you guys. I appreciate all your support. Hope you guys have a great night. Until next time, guys, I will see you all soon.